Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting edge.
You disappeared. You lost voice. The microphone went away. Just hang in there, folks.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened to my mic. I just got a new mic, too. Welcome, everybody, to Broadcast Team Alpha, where we bring you cutting-edge conversation while exploring the quantum possibilities. And tonight we're doing it a little differently. Every now and then, Aage and I kind of sit down at the kitchen table with you, with a cup of coffee or whatever beverage. Maybe you have some tea that you'd like to have. And just to kind of talk and catch up and, yeah, see how you're doing. And since we're talking about, community and friendship, don't forget our friends over at the Conscious Awakening Network. All kinds of really cool stuff is going on over there. We're streaming over there, and we're streaming on 40 something other platforms. So thank you for your contribution to that by subscribing to our YouTube channel. And of course, if you want to know when we do shows that are unannounced, or you just want to be reminded when the show is, click the bell and you'll get all the reminders. We're going to talk about the mastermind connection tonight, so I'm not going to belabor that. Aage, how are you doing? I'm Nori. You guys know this is Aage. We've been doing this for 7 years. Aage, how's it
7
going?
years. Gosh, that's 7 years. That's a long time. Man, oh man. I just looked on YouTube and we have over 900 shows that we have done. That's
That's incredible.
incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And some of those shows are really doozies. I suggest for the viewers just get on YouTube. That's a good place. We're everywhere else too, but on YouTube, start scrolling down and down and down and down into
doing
the shows.
hypnosis.
Yeah, and all the way into the basement. You're gonna find some stuff in there by brilliant people that you can't live without watching. So you should go there and have a ball.
And
But
guys, there's shows there from people who have gone non-physical, like Jordan Maxwell always comes to mind. He actually let everybody know on our show that he was going to go non-physical, and he's such a brilliant man, and had information that was so way ahead of his time. And of course, people were trying to censor him and shut him down, in a way that was very painful for him. So, we've got Grant Cameron. Grant talked about, wasn't it Grant that talked about how they train people in the CIA to do remote viewing? Was that Grant?
no, that wasn't him. Grant talks about consciousness now. He's a phenomenal UFO researcher, but he's now bridging between consciousness and the extraterrestrial presence. He's talking about extraterrestrial consciousness and how we can interact with that. He get very, very interesting there. That reminds me, we need to have him back on the show again.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be
Yeah.
great. Yeah. So just kind of checking in with everybody, and I see everybody in the chat room. And if there's anything that you'd like to say to us, anything you'd like to talk about, anything you'd like to share, we'd kind of like to know how you're doing. And Aage and I are both available to all of the people in our community. If you ever need, to talk, or just have somebody listen, we are very accessible, and our phone numbers are like everywhere. and we can put them in the
Yeah.
YouTube chat so that you'll have them also. Uh, Lots of things are happening in the world. Right now, it looks like there's an upswing in, shall we call it peace, right? Peace for the moment. Peace, it would be peace everlasting, would be our ultimate joy.
Mhm.
Augie, why don't you tell people what we've been doing in the mastermind connection about peace? Because
Uh,
we've been doing it, right?
yes, we have. And we have been working on peace. And I think just about every session we have worked on peace. And guess what? For the last month at least. And guess what? There is ceasefire in the Middle East. Ceasefire is the stepping stone to peace. So I also found out, I saw a video here, I think about this morning, that yes, Trump and the supreme leader of Iran is going to meet next week and they're going to talk. And yes, this will lead to peace. So whether it was us that did it or everything else that supported peace, I don't know. But ever so often, I wonder what the world would look like if we did not do what we do, because we have tremendous results on joining our minds together, creating that mastermind and direct it towards specific things, and it happens. Just like we are creating out of absolutely nothing, but it is something because it happens.
It is, and if you're new to this kind of topic, what we're talking about is manifestation. We are talking about, intentionally getting together and having beautiful visions and images of what peace would look like around the world, what it would actually look like. We've envisioned people, soldiers laying their weapons down. We've envisioned parties in the streets, and people loving each other, and lots of community and conversation, and the absence of homelessness, the absence of hunger. We create beautiful images, and together, and sometimes there's like 40 people that join together. I mean, that's a powerful vision, and like Abraham Hicks says, that's a powerful rocket of desire going up, and the universe always says yes, right? So we are not the
Yes.
only people or benevolent beings who have been praying, manifesting, desiring peace. I'm sure we join with many other people who are like-minded and hope and pray, or choose to hold the vision that the timeline of peace will continue to expand and open up. And you might be saying, oh, I can't even listen to this right now. My nervous system is on overload and I'm really uncomfortable, and my family member is sick, or I'm sick, and it's hard to think about hearts and flowers when
Yeah.
that is happening. But if you can just reach for the next tiniest thought that feels better than whatever thoughts you're having now that's in the way of you releasing that which is resistance, it's resistance, right? That which is in your way from feeling the love and the peace. If you can just have one tiny little thought, that peace that you have within you contributes to peace in the world, and that peace does expand.
Yep. Absolutely. And I want to say something in addition to that. I want to talk directly to the nuts and the bolts people out there. The ones sitting on the couch saying and thinking like, yeah, sure. Visualizing peace. What is that going to do? Well, I'll let you in on a secret. It's just between you and me only. There's some science behind this because thoughts are things, thoughts are energy. Whatever you think about is created in the mind. And quantum mechanics show us that everything is connected with everything. So whatever we think about connects with what we think about. So now when we think good things about something, it has an effect at the other end. It has been proven by repeatable scientific experiments that thought can move things. So yes, we're going to keep doing it because we are getting some good results with it. And there's one particular incident that I keep bringing up because it's so brilliant that we were able to do that. And that is that one of our members, John, he asked me one time, my wife is in the hospital with that thing that went around 3, 4 years ago that everybody seems to be having a problem with. He said she's in the hospital with that, and what can we do to help her? So we got together. We wrapped our mastermind around her. She was in a bad way. They were going to put her on the ventilator the next day and put her on remdesivir also. So we wrapped our mastermind around her, and we did our work. We visualized her perfectly healthy walking out of the hospital. And the next day in the afternoon, her husband called me and he said, my wife is home. And the most brilliant thing I could think of to say at the time was, huh? And she was home because our mastermind had created the image of her walking out of the hospital. And you know what? You can't walk out of the hospital. They won't let you. They put you in a wheelchair and roll you out on the sidewalk, and then you can walk away. But that one time, she walked out. She wasn't, they let her out in the lobby from the wheelchair, so she walked out. That normally don't happen. So another thing that proves it was us that helped her. If you want to be part of something like this, get in touch with us. This is higher conscious thinking, and it works. So send us an email to themastermindconnection@gmail.com, and you will have a little bit of an education, and it's going to be interesting. Maybe you want something that you want to create for yourself in your life that you don't have, or maybe there's something you want to get rid of. It can help with that too. So anyway, I'm talking too much. Nori, help me out.
Well, and Augie is talking about the science behind it, and he could really get into particles and waves, and we could all get into
Yeah.
particles and waves. But I think the actual things that have happened, the results that have happened, are more meaningful than talking about particles and waves, although that's very valid, which brings to mind that what we're really talking about is science and spirit, right? The marriage of science and spirit together. So if you are suffering in any way, you can begin to think about something something that feels good, right? Maybe you can't think about something that feels good, but maybe you could think about your grandchild. And in that nanosecond of a moment that your heart is filled with love, that creates a change in your energetic field. Maybe you could look out your window and see a flower blooming, and that love that you have for that, the love that you have for that beauty, or maybe you have a painting in your room, or some, your significant other, or whatever it is. The minute that you think about that, even though you may go back to a little bit of suffering or sickness, that already has changed you and moved you in the direction of healing or well-being, or whatever it is that you are desiring to have. So it's right there within you. Maybe praying helps you get there. Whatever it is, we want you to know that it's right on the other side of a little invisible veil. I call it a membrane, right? Imagine popping a little membrane, and then on the other side is everything that you desire. Aage?
Yeah. Yeah. What you just said reminded me of a saying that I think I heard somewhere, that it doesn't matter what the question is, the answer is love. So that's what we were talking about. The energy, the frequency of love heals everything. Even Albert Einstein, about a year before he died, he said in an interview somewhere, I have studied the universe more than most, and I have found that the whole universe is made from the vibration of love. So there is something to this.
There's a lot to this.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
the title of this show is, that we are uncensored, and we are as uncensored tonight in our conversation as we can be on this platform. But if you go to the Conscious Awakening Network, there is a part of the website where you can go, where the conversations are truly uncensored. They are not censored by that the entities that have censored a lot of other people, who have silenced them, who have taken them down. And thank God people are coming back, and so many people are coming back onto the platforms that they were removed from. But
Yeah.
if there's anything that you'd really like to talk about, I'm looking in the chat room. Just let us know. So lovely to see you both. Be blessed by your positive and loving hearts. Creator bless you both. Ah, thank you so much. That's so sweet. So sweet. And give me 1 minute, Aage. Take over for 1 minute, please.
Okay. All right. Yeah. We talked about peace earlier, and it is happening in the Middle East. And we are still working on peace in that other place, the one a little further up north, because very shortly the Russians going to realize that, yeah, we've had enough too. So they're going to get to the table, and there will be peace there also. Two reasons for that. First of all, the money is drying out, so there's nothing that's going to be funneled back to Congress anymore. So now there's no incentive to keep it going. And the second is the whole world is tired of it. They want peace. And we do our part of that, and we join minds with the rest of the people around the world that is wanting peace. And that creates a phenomenal big mastermind. So that makes it happen. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
And some of the other things that uh, comes to mind for me is where I see a lot of chaos, not like the kind of chaos we're talking about in war, but the kind of chaos that stirs us up and knocks us off of our, track, off of our connection with our higher self, right? The connection with our higher self is where we are the most peaceful. So I see a lot of it, right? You know, the solstice, right, gets everybody all fired up, and some people are disappointed because what they thought was going to happen didn't happen, and then there's Nasara and Jasara and a lot of things around that. There's cryptocurrency. There's a lot of all of these words. I hope we don't get censored, but a lot of these words get people spun up inside, and they're waiting, and maybe it doesn't happen when they think it's going to happen, and that makes your frequency just go up and like a bad heart rhythm, like a heart rhythm that we want to shock in the emergency room. So these are the things that we could also consider. Maybe you haven't thought of it. Maybe you've just sort of been whipped around, by the news, by the people who disseminate the information, right? Stay steady, keep your head on a swivel, keep an eye on what's going on. Now, all of that is really good, but can you do it in a 0 point? Can you do it from a neutral perspective? Right? Can you have a conversation, or not even a conversation, right? There's that one person, maybe you work with them, maybe they're in your family. When they speak, it sounds like fingernails on a blackboard to you. Can you find a neutral point right there, where it used to irritate you? And we all know the thoughts that come up when somebody irritates us. We know, I don't have to repeat them. I mean, I've thought them, I felt them, and I catch myself, whispering some curse words under my breath. And, when I do that, I go right to Hopo'ono'ono. I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me. And that works. There's so much division. There's so much division because of the political stuff, right? There's so much division. And a lot, I mean, let's tell the truth. Here's the division, right? It looks like it's people. It looks like it's people. But when we go up here, it's energetic. It's a spiritual war that's really happening. And our energy is a commodity. It's fuel for the part of the spiritual warfare that's going on, that we are not really on their side. Maybe you are on their side, and then that's okay, right? No judgment here, but we just wanted to sit down and have a conversation and talk about the things that we've seen, the things that we've been feeling ourselves, because we're just like you. We are just like you. We go through the same emotions. We go through the same feelings. We have the same fears, but we've been practicing for a long time, and hope that maybe, just maybe, something we might say tonight may bring you a little bit of what you've been desiring. And when you feel a little bit of that, then you can look and take inspired action, because inevitably, when you change that frequency, choices are going to pop up, right? There is no right, no wrong. There's only energy and choices, energy and the consequences, if you will, of those, of the energy and the choices, right? So when you change your frequency in that nanosecond, there's going to be more choices. What if you go this way and you meet someone who introduces you to someone else, and they know someone that knows exactly what you've been trying to do? Maybe it's a screenplay, maybe you want to get in a movie, maybe it's a new business, maybe it's a loan, right? All of a sudden you follow that good feeling energy, and you wind up in a new place, or dare I say, timeline.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, Nori, I loved it when you said about the thing about cuss words, because I thought I was the only one that did that. Now, that helped me a lot. Thank you. That was wonderful. Now I don't feel so bad anymore.
Yeah,
And
yeah, no, please go ahead.
yeah, no, and none of us is perfect, and we there. I catch myself actually talking to myself once in a while. And then I read that intelligent people usually do that. And I do that. Before I go on an interview, let's say they want to talk about a subject that I haven't talked about for a while. I take 20 minutes and I sit there and talk to myself. I get to reawaken the neural network that brings into that area where I have the memories, and it works. It works good. And I also want to say something about that. Everybody and their dog out there said that we were going to have World War III last week. Well, us and millions of others were working on peace, so we just ran that wagon in the ditch for them. I love it when the media is wrong. And because we're not going to have World War III, I have it in writing because I wrote it. And the thing about that is that we have reached a level of consciousness right now where that will not be allowed. There are first consciousness of people here forbids it, as well as there are extraterrestrial beings that many here on this ball of mud called Earth is communicating with. They're telling us that we will not allow that to happen. So I feel pretty safe about that. Absolutely. And I've seen enough of the future. I am not worried about the future at all. Especially now, after the peace is coming to the Middle East, we may even avoid those 2 or 3 months that I was talking about before when things would not work. Chances are that will go away too. I think they just might be pretty clean sailing from now. That is what I'm concentrating on, Nori is concentrating on, the people on the mastermind is intending for. So that's what we're going to have.
And we do have, benevolent beings that are helping us. And we have so many hundreds of thousands of people who have had experiences that verify that. And, as the veil gets lifted, more and more people are coming forth with, we have a lot of truths we can choose from, right? Some of them we are calling fake truth. But, when you are in the presence of the truth, you know it, you feel it. Sometimes you get those goosebumps, but you yes, you absolutely feel it. And if we can just be present in order to recognize it. And I just want to go back for a minute because Aaron said in the chat room, oh my goodness, Aaron said that he said that he was not going to be giving up his energy anymore, to the forces that are not really benevolent and helpful. And it's wonderful, and we love when people choose that. And if you ever need any tips or tools or just somebody to listen, because you know what you need to do in order to make that happen. We are in the process of remembering. So if you need somebody to just witness what you are saying, sometimes your truth comes out so much easier, and there's so much discussion about Atlantis and who came from Atlantis and, Lemuria and all of the other great planets. And I would like to go where I'm thinking, but it would be to talk about a political figure, and that's not where we want to go tonight, right? So I see we're at the bottom of the hour. I'm so bummed, guys, that my new little microphone didn't work. I was so excited, but everything is for a reason, and they can't stop me
Yeah,
either.
working good
Yeah,
now. And yeah, we're at the bottom of the hour. And I would say stay with us on this one till the end, because
there's
Nori
something
and
new.
we have an announcement about
Yeah,
something that Nori and I are going to do. And you
yeah,
do want to hear this.
we
I
do.
guarantee you want to hear it because this is good.
Augie, let
And
me do a sound check really quick since we're being a little casual.
you sound very good. Nope.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, we have something new to announce, something that we've been talking about for a long time, something that has come up because people are desiring it. People are asking for it. If you can I begin to open up this, Og? You ready? Are you ready?
Hey, I'm riding back seat with you, Nori. Let's do it.
So if you can't help but notice how many podcasts there are. There are so many podcasts. I've got my list of favorites. I'm sure you do too. But there are also a lot of brilliant people, really brilliant people who have really important and wonderful and loving and healing and new information that they have to share. And they don't quite know how to get on a platform like this and begin to share it. So, Augie, tell them our answer. Tell them our solution
Oh,
to that. Yeah.
yeah. I wonder if there's somebody out there sitting on the couch watching this right now that you would really love to have a radio show of your own, a TV show of your own, or a podcast of your own. And
Raise your hand
you,
if it's you. We can't see you, but raise it anyway.
there
That's
you
good
go.
energy.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. And the thing about it is that you probably, in a second thought, after you thought the first one was, well, I don't know how to do that. Man, oh man, that's going to cost a lot of money. And no, first of all, it doesn't. And for the second, you don't have to know everything to start. But I'm going to show you in just a little bit how you can know everything that you need to do to start something out. And think about it. You, by having a show of your own, you will get to associate with some of the most interesting people in the world as being your guests. Think about that. Or if you have a subject that you want to research, if you're going to do all the research yourself, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. Pick the brains of your guests that you bring to the show that have already done a lot of that research. And then they will give you the answers to what you're looking for.
And
So,
and can I slide in here for 1 minute, Augie? Let me slide in for 1 minute. You may be thinking, because I know I've thought that, I don't know how to get the people that I want to talk to. But you know what? If if the if the content that you want to share is from your heart and you are really passionate about it, you could get Tony Robbins. You could get
yeah.
Marianne Williamson. You could get who else? Who else do you guys love? Right? Put in the chat room who you love, who you want to interview.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it could happen because like energy meets like energy. And,
Yeah.
Ugg and I almost got Barbara Marciniak. We're still hoping that we're going to bring her on, right? She,
Mm-hmm.
uh, right? We went to one of her very private presentations. I mean, when you go to a Barbara Marciniak presentation, you got to leave your phone in the car or you have to leave it at the desk, and there's no electronics, and she is wide open. Talk about uncensored. And she doesn't do interviews, but we want her so bad. We almost had her saying yes, but we
Yeah,
are still,
actually, she actually
we're,
did say yes, and then we lost her contact phone number. So that
we're
was
still
my fault.
hoping.
Yeah,
We're still
but
hoping.
yep, absolutely.
The point, yeah, the point is, whoever it is that you would really like to talk to, you can do that. I mean, let me just bring up Billy Carson, okay? And I know there's been controversy about Billy Carson, and I would really like to call out, I don't know her name, the woman, and I'm calling you out in pure love, okay? But we've known Billy for many years, and all of the things that you said about him to insinuate that he has been replaced by a robot is incorrect, okay? he
Yeah,
he has always looked very, very youthful. The picture that you pulled up of him where he didn't look youthful was when he had come back from some third world country and was in the hospital there. He was so sick he almost died. He was completely transparent when he went to another country and had his teeth done. So, you know, Billy is Billy. Billy is Billy.
yeah,
And Billy started, from New York and Florida, came on our show when before he was as big and wonderful and amazing as he is now. But look at his trajectory, whether you're judging him or not, that could be your trajectory as well. Aage,
yes,
tell him how
absolutely.
you're going to do it, please.
All right, absolutely. And yeah, think about what you could do with a show like that. You can help people because Nori and I, we're going to start a class that will teach how to put together a really classy show. Because people keep telling me that Nori and I have a classy show. So I claim that, and of course I'm biased, but still I think it is. So this is something that you can do. We are going to teach you absolutely everything you need to know, to start a show on, And you can, Mac here, the producer that we have, he is all going to show you also how you can get on 30 to 50 different platforms. So it's not just YouTube. Most people, they stay with YouTube because that's where they get paid. Nori and I thought different. We can reach more people if we go wide, and that's why we're on 44 different platforms. Very few other shows are. So that's something to think about. And we're also going to teach you how to get distribution, syndications, and how to create the show and manage it, both on and off the air. And we're going to teach you a little bit about communication. And also the really good one, we're going to help you to practice because once you're done with the show, we will allow you to come in and practice as a co-host on Broadcast Team Alpha.
Let me
And
step.
yeah,
May
go
I?
ahead.
Step 1 minute. So we're also going to help you with the resistance that is holding you back. Like maybe you'll say, yes, I want to learn this. And then I promise you, when I went to my first Boundless Living with Bob Doyle, the resistance that showed up in my life, I mean, I'm embarrassed now when I look back, but I'm not, because that's the way that energy works. I had massive, massive resistance in my way, and I allowed myself to be vulnerable in the group. I allowed myself to, talk about what it was. I allowed Bob to coach me, to help me see where I was tripping myself up. And we're going to help you with that. We're going to help you understand what keeps getting in your way. And we're going to help you to get to that point where you're not nervous. I mean, you're always going to have butterflies. That never goes away, but you just have to put the butterflies in formation. So we're going to help you with that, because that's probably, public speaking is like, I mean, I think people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of dying. So we're going to help soothe and quell all of those fears and anxieties. And then we're going to have you come on, and in a very loving, supportive atmosphere, you're going to co-host, and you're going to rock it. And it's going to be so much fun. And we're going to make sure that you are prepared to do it. You are never going
Yeah.
to do anything that you don't want to do. If you're just like teetering on the brink, yeah, we're going to kick you out of the nest. But if you absolutely don't want to do it, you can stay back for a little while. I'll work with you personally. Aage will work with you just to, get out the bumps or get that pee out from underneath the mattress, so that you can show up fully as you, because that's who's going to get your guests, being you
Yeah.
full out.
And speaking of guests, first of all, we have been doing this for 7 years. We know an awful lot of guests. 900 shows on YouTube. That's probably 850 different guests. We will introduce you to those guests, so you don't have to stumble around finding guests. When you call them, they already know that you will be calling them, and then you will get good guests right off the bat. I'll introduce you to a whole bunch of those. And on top of that, for Broadcast Team Alpha, if I can't make it sometimes, you could be a stand-in and co-host with Nori. Same
Or
thing with
vice
me.
versa. Mhm.
Yeah, if she can't make it one day, you can step in as a co-host. This is going to be an opportunity for somebody. First of all, you're not going to start from nothing, which most people do when they start a podcast.
True.
You're going to have the credibility, and you're going to have the resources of Broadcasting Alpha to bring you to the stage. That's going to be. You may not understand all of that, but it's going to make a huge difference for somebody starting out. And on top of that, once you get 1,000 subscribers, you can get paid on YouTube. That's a good
Yeah.
one.
So I'm talking to Linda, Faith Inspired, in the chat room. And Linda, is it okay if I talk a little bit about the beginning?
Yeah.
I'll wait until you say yes or no. Linda has turned out to be one of the finest co-hosts that I've seen. And I've seen Linda through the very beginning all the way to where she is now, just as Linda has seen me through the very beginning to where I am now. And I'm just thrilled for Linda. And some of the things that showed up as resistance for her, she was diligent, just such an incredible student. And I didn't teach her. I mean, she did it on her own. You can do it on your own. But Linda's really tech savvy. Linda's really smart. And Linda is willing and had the time to do the digging to really make her show and her platform what it is. So we're going to give you the shortcuts. We're going to get you in there. We're going to get you in there, kind of quick. We're not going to have you losing a lot of time or losing a lot of money, right? In the beginning, you start where you're at. And if you don't have that, the money for a producer yet, well, we help you, put your own show up. I mean, in the beginning, I put my own shows up on YouTube all by myself, and I'm not that tech savvy. But now we've got Mac, and if you've got some discretional funds, is it discretional or discretional funds?
Discre
Mac has, what is it? Is it discretional?
discretional, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Indiscretional. That would not be the right word, right? That would be the P. Diddy trial. Sorry, guys. Okay, I didn't say that. Um, Mac has a great business, and he's got a team, and you can invest a little money in yourself, and Mac and his team can help you. So there's lots and lots of really rich content that we're going to share with you. And we don't have the exact date yet, right, Augie?
No, we don't, but I think we would like to do this within the next month or so. And I would like to see 10 people in the class. Because if it goes too big, you're not going to get the personal attention that you really need. And up to 10, I think will be all right. I think we can do that because even after we start doing the co-hosting, that will play out in could play out in 5 weeks because we got 2 shows and we may end up with a third one shortly. So this will work.
That'd
Yeah.
be great. Linda gave me permission. Linda said, I'm an Aquarian. We always have something on the go. We do. And we're tough and we never give up. That's true. So when Linda began, um, Linda has a lot of incredible psychic gifts, and she also has people or entities from the other side that would intentionally distract her. I mean, they would touch her and they would pinch her, and poor Linda, couldn't get out what she wanted to say because all of these entities were annoying the heck out of her. So, she figured it out. She learned how to overcome that, how to protect herself or whatever it is that she did personally. And Linda has taken her language and removed the ahs and the ums. I mean, I'm impressed. I mean, she's light years ahead of me because I still do that. And she's also so poised and so eloquent. But Linda's beautiful, beautiful, amazing skill is she can keep people on track, and she asks really good questions. Really good questions. So if you're a good question asker, if you're curious, if you like to talk, if you like to engage, if you're one of those people that can pull information out of people in a loving way, this is for you. This is for you, right? What else you got?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you are a total introvert, there's still a path for that because we understand how neural networks work. There is a way to reprogram the subconscious mind, which pretty much run 90% of your day, will help you reprogram it for that kind of success, to be in front of the camera. And you would be as comfortable on camera as you can obviously see Nori and I am. That could be you, even if you are an introvert, because all you have to do is to reprogram the subconscious mind and things change. Same as hypnosis, that also can help reprogram the subconscious mind so things work and the words will flow when you need them. I know I've done that, so I know that's how it works. And this is something that if you're sitting on the couch back there thinking, it would be kind of fun to have a show, get in touch with us. It will be
Broadcast.
fun for us too. We will have a
Yeah.
blast. This is the first time we do it.
Yeah, that'll be so much fun. And you can send an email to broadcastteamalpha@gmail.com. Um, Linda said my first podcast was when Aage had to take a night off. That was so much fun, except of course when my internet was shut off after talking about the virus. Yeah, that happened. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So of course, tonight we're super casual. I'm reaching for my drink. I'm eating a gummy bear. We're super casual tonight. But I have to tell you, it's been 7 years, and only recently can I say that pretty much in most of our situations and in most of our shows and our interviews, I'm comfortable in most of them now, even high level guests. Now there's a couple of guests, one in particular that I'm hoping to have on, that I would really have to do my work, um, to really meet him where he is. He's an amazing, um, just an amazing. I don't want to do spoiler alert, but he's an amazing person with like information that is just so delicious and so important, during this time right now. That's very, very helpful. And I would really have to do my homework for him. I would prepare my questions. I would, read. I'm reading his book. His book is this thick. Reading
Wow.
his book, yeah, that thick. It is that thick, and it's one of those books. It's not an easy read. You got to take notes. So, so I am preparing, right? So this is the energy. Every time that I read his book, every time that I think about him, those are little laser beams of energy that are going out before me, so that maybe when I finally reach him, he already knows me. He's already waiting to hear me ask, right, to come on the show. So there are some
Um,
people that you really have to do your homework for. There are other nights like tonight when it's super casual and we're hanging out like we would be at the kitchen table, and I'm serving my world famous lasagna and we're all hanging out having a good time.
yeah. And Nori and I have been doing this for a long time, so we're very comfortable. And I mean, 850, 900 guests. And for me, I had 6 years of doing TV shows before. So we have heard and seen so much that they can throw pretty much any subject at us and we can talk intelligently on it. So that is will be your goal. Absorb everything that you get from the guests and categorize it and memorize it. So when somebody 8 years from now asks you a question, bingo, you have the answer. That's one of the goals that you can have. And if you go to broadcastteamalpha.com, go in under classes, get in there, become a member of that website, on YouTube. You on YouTube, yes. Then you can also start reprogramming the subconscious mind for success or for memory or whatever you want it to be. There's a lot of stuff there. And we will show you how to reprogram your mind so you can do just about anything.
And the other thing I wanted to mention is we will help you to know what to do and to execute the pathway, if you will, for if and when a guest goes off the rails. In the beginning, we had a couple of guests that, because we were interviewing a lot of experiencers, and a lot of them were very emotional. We had one that was, super emotional, and he went off the rails, and I was able to reach him and communicate with him and de-escalate him. And then we actually had him back on a second time, and it was like a different person. It went so much better. And we're
Yeah,
gonna we're gonna show you how to have those skills, to make that happen too on your show.
yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah.
And then if you are trying to make a decision on something like this, don't make the decision if you are in doubt. Just get in touch first so we can talk, because you're going to have questions that we didn't think about. So
Well,
we can answer those questions for you. And we're going to help you to stand on your own 2 feet out there. And you're going to be just as comfortable in front of the camera as we are. And that
and
could happen fairly quickly.
it could. And I just want to say thank you to Wania Thundering Hawk for her super chat. Thank you. That is very generous of you, and we sure do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah.
We
So
have.
this was fun, Augie. We've got 4 minutes left, and Augie's got his famous question that he asks his guests, and maybe you'll create yours. That final question that you might ask them to close your show with. Some people, I think it's not Joe Rogan. It's one of the other Ryan, um, who has the guest before ask a question for the oncoming guest. I don't even know if they know who the oncoming guest is, but he asks his guest to ask a question to the oncoming guest, which is pretty cool.
Oh,
Yeah, right?
yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, we could use
That's
that. We
good.
could borrow that. Yeah, we could borrow that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 3 minutes left, but I want to say something also. Nori is one of those, probably the second most busiest woman in the world, and they're still arguing about who's number one. But if you have, she is a doula. I forget the term of it, but
well, like
she's
Dula.
a hypnotist. If you have anything in your psyche, or let's say that you have an implant, and talk to her. There's something that can be done with hypnosis that I don't know if you can do with any other method. You can find out what happened with your missing time. And also, when it comes to health issue, she is the go-to person, because she, first of all, is a nurse for 30 years, and now she's a holistic nurse. So feel free. I'm just putting you out there, Nori, because
Yeah, thank you. I I appreciate that, and I just want to share with you really quick what has evolved on its own, and I love it more than ever, ever, ever. Many people in the community, because many people are getting sick because they got the jab or do, or whatever reason they're getting sick. Um, they are contacting me when they're in the hospital, and I have the blessed opportunity to be right by their side, non-local, right by their side through their hospital stay, right? They can ask me questions about lab values, how to talk to the doctor, or just, like 2 o'clock in the morning, they're scared out of their wits. I can help them soothe and calm and feel better. And I just absolutely love it. But you know what I love the best? When they go home and they are, we are just celebrating that they got well, because not everybody does. But when you have somebody in your corner, and if your family can't do that for you, or your friends, helping you to reach for that next highest thought, helping you to see yourself well. I mean, that's a whole kind of medicine that you can't get, from the pharmacy in the hospital. So
yeah.
I am grateful. I'm so grateful that that has happened, and that's one of my favorite things to do. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thanks, Augie.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned that question, Nori. I don't ever think I have asked you that question. Have I?
I think
No,
you
I
have
don't
a
think
long time ago. Yeah.
so. Oh, I want to hear what you have to say. Now, when you are, if you could talk to the absolute whole world and the world is listening, what would you tell them?
Of course, I would tell everybody that love is the answer. But right now, at this point in time, what I would like to tell you is don't bolt. Don't bolt and don't jolt. No matter what you see, no matter what you hear, if you're in the bathroom and you didn't lock the door and somebody walks in on you, don't bolt and don't jolt. No matter what you hear on the news, what you see on TV, what your friend tells you, keep your nervous system nice and settled and in alignment. Don't bolt and don't jolt. Just think about that. Put that in the crock pot, let it cook up for you, and your subconscious mind is already bringing you ways to make that happen. I love you guys. Thanks, Aage. This was really fun.
This was fun. Thank you. All right,
Thanks, everybody.
and those of you out there, if you are on YouTube right now, please subscribe. That will help us a lot. And until next time, be good to each other.
Much love, everybody.